We interrupt our regularly scheduled nonsense to tell you about this episode's sponsor, Knack. Knack bags are a unique combination of laptop bags and backpacks. They are expandable when you need the extra space, endlessly adaptable for any situation, and fully padded to protect your most precious electronics.
That's right. Coupled with a stylish modern design, Knack bags are the perfect companion for 9-to-5 commuting, jet-setting adventure, and everything in between. Shuffle off to knackbags.com to get yours today.
For a limited time only, use offer code BEYOND to check out to get a free TSA-approved bag lock with your purchase.
Yes, that's offer code BEYOND to get your lock with purchase of your Knack bag of choice.
This is Beyond the Bench with Nick Morgasen and Nick Fodera. A look at sports and pop culture from beyond common sense. The show that constantly goes off the rails and might never get back on. When you don't belong, you're a bench warmer. On this show, there's no riding the bench. This is Beyond the Bench on the Empty the Bench Podcast Network. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Bench. What episode are we, Nick? I lost track here.
29, I think?
29, maybe? I don't know. Welcome to a new episode. We're here. Follow us on social media. We're going to talk about this quickly because we have a lot of stuff to get to. Follow us on Twitter, Beyond the Bench 1 on Twitter, Facebook, facebook.com/Beyond the Bench 1. And now, because I remembered, follow on Instagram, instagram.com/Beyond the Bench 1. And make sure you follow us on our podcast network, the Empty the Bench Podcast Network at ETB Network. Follow him at Nick Writes Words. Follow myself at N Morgasen Radio. Okay, I'm all social media now.
Whew. Okay, so that being the case, this is another one of those weeks where everything happened at once. Some of it sad, some of it good, some of it hilarious in a train wreck, in a slow-moving train wreck kind of way.
Yeah, well, we'll break it all down. But first, how was your week?
It's been stressful getting things together because, you know, adulting is difficult. But again, these things happen.
And by the way, it's episode 25. I just looked.
All right. So, yeah.
There we go. I knew I'd get back to it eventually.
Oh, and when we get to episode 29, I can say it's episode 25. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So we have a lot to get to, as Nick said. We'll break it down first, and then we'll go into all the stories. First, musking up $43 billion to buy Twitter. We will get to this hilarious story in a moment. The suspected, what would you like to call him? Alleged attacker?
Yes, the Brooklyn subway shooter has been apprehended within the last 48 hours, and we've got a lot to talk about with that.
And I could talk about experiences being around the city and seeing some dangerous things, so I can actually talk a little bit about what it's like being around in the city. Unfortunately, comedian Gilbert Gottfried passed away at the age of 67 the other day of type 2 myotonic dystrophy.
Yeah,
which is a very rare disease.
Very, very rare disease, but again, it's an incalculable loss.
Also, Britney Spears confuses people with Instagram pregnancy news.
I mean, it wouldn't be an episode of Beyond the Bench if we didn't mention Britney Spears at least once.
Yeah, right. It's either the Kardashians or Britney Spears.
You would think this is probably like a 90s nostalgia, podcast where all of a sudden we're going to be walking in wearing starter jackets and backwards baseball caps.
And Nickelodeon in the background.
Yeah.
Also, Pepsi
one of us is going to be drinking Ecto Cooler.
Or Kool-Aid.
Oh, yeah.
Also, Pepsi and IHOP come together for a weird drink. We'll get to that. And also, even though we don't talk a lot of sports on here, this became public interest once again.
Because it always does. And
that's the COVID.
Let me just.
That's the COVID police calling me and letting me know I shouldn't talk about it.
But we have to talk about it anyway because it does have to do with vaccination status with some legendary figures in Major League Baseball. But first off,
we got a lot to get to. So let's get into it. First one is musking up $43 billion to buy Twitter. We're talking about Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, the man who believes that he is Tony Stark but is actually Lex Luthor with a wig on, is this story started that he was going to buy. We actually reported on that he was going to buy 9% of
9.2 to be exact.
9.2% of the stock of Twitter, which would make him its highest stakeholder. And he was talking about all these things that he wanted to do, all the things that he wanted to make them do. However, it comes out within the last 12 hours.
Let's just say it happened quickly.
It happened pretty quickly, yes. So it said, I'm sorry that it's making me choke, but he tweeted out that he made an offer to the Twitter board of executives to buy the company for $43 billion. Now, Twitter is a publicly traded company, so what he would be doing is taking it private again.
Great.
And ladies and gentlemen, as of this recording, they just apparently finished a Twitter stakeholders meeting, for the largest stakeholders meeting, to talk about this offer that they have, and apparently they are telling him to go shove it.
Well, so here's the problem. If they tell him to go shove it, the stock is going to crash not crash, let me be careful with my words. It's going to tank by 20%.
Yeah, but my question is, what was the stock doing in reaction to him, potentially exploring to buy the deal?
Well, he already bought, so I think I'm not sure.
No, he didn't buy the company yet.
No, he bought 9.2%. He is the highest stakeholder, which is a little scary considering Twitter is a big company and 9.2% is the highest stakeholder.
Yeah, and he wanted to be a board executive, but apparently they wouldn't let him, or he changed his mind.
So what happened was they were getting ready to do it, and I forgot who the CEO is, but they were
Dorsey.
Yeah, no. There's another one that runs the board, but not important.
I'll look it up.
But at the same time, they were like going back and forth. Do we want Elon Musk on the board? He's going to be a pain in the ass. He's going to be a headache. And then I think Elon basically came out and said, "I'm shoving your board position up your you-know-what."
Yeah,
and
Parag Agrawal is the
that guy. Yes,
the CEO of Twitter, and he basically I'm sure that man has had to put up with Elon Musk's temper tantrums. I mean, far more than any person who's not married to Elon Musk should. So that being the case, ladies and gentlemen, all of this is about. They're laughing at me on Twitter. You can't laugh at me. I'll buy you.
Well, I hate when billionaires do that. Like if they either getting laughed at or they don't like something, they're just like, "Hey, I bought you. Now you can't do anything to me."
Yeah, it is because look, ladies and gentlemen, regardless of what you may think of Elon Musk, if you love him or you hate him or you're in between, you have to agree that this is a waste of time for a man who is worth who is worth as much money as he is.
He could buy and sell the two of us if he wants.
He's a multi-billionaire. He could buy and sell the entire population of the continental United States 7 times over. So don't tell me that this is a better use of your time. So apparently all he wants to do is just shit post on Twitter. You know what it's like?
No, I get it.
I don't know if you've ever been around the Reddit sub communities.
I have.
The scummier ones.
It's like slogging through the world of Twitter of people who are eggs and have no pictures.
It's basically Twitter but angrier. So, which is saying something.
But this whole thing, and you're gonna hate when I play this, but Elon Musk makes me think of this.
RELAX.
That he needs to relax, or he reminds you of Aaron Rodgers?
No, he reminds me of Aaron Rodgers. Because basically Elon Musk says, "Hey, you're not going to tell me what to do. I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want, and you're not going to tell me what to do."
But again, this man could do whatever he wants, so why do this?
No, but I'm saying is...
Are you that thin-skinned that you can't stand it when people make fun of your hairline or make make memes.
Aaron Rodgers is the same way. And people are making fun of him for his feet.
Aaron Rodgers doesn't. Well, he's not a major shareholder in Tesla. Well, I don't know what his stock. Is, but still.
What, Elon Musk? Tesla?
Yeah, but I don't know how much Aaron Rodgers owns of what. But
trust me, Aaron Rodgers is doing just fine.
Yeah, but he has a day. He has a day job, and supposedly Elon Musk does too. But apparently, looking at these headlines, he doesn't. He doesn't have anything else to do.
Didn't Elon Musk? Was he the guy that tried to name his kid like after a calculation equation or something?
He did do that.
Isn't that they were saying that that's not legal or something? Like you can't do that?
Apparently it's legal. You technically have the ability to name your child whatever the hell you want.
Which is scary.
I
feel bad for that child though when they grow up.
Oh my God. I also feel bad for the teachers that have to call his name out and take an attendance.
Hi, E equals MC squared.
Huh? Oh yeah, here. But ladies and gentlemen, this man is, first of all, I'm sick and tired of regarding him as some kind of genius.
He's not.
He didn't even start Tesla. He just bought them out.
People make this confusion all the time that Elon Musk started Tesla. He did not. People need to wake up.
He's a billionaire because his parents were loaded and owned a diamond mine in South Africa. You didn't know that?
No, I did know that. I'm just saying people are so stupid that they don't realize it.
Honestly, he is the world's first shitposting billionaire.
So he's Trump. And
I would say
it's the same thing.
Yeah, kind of.
His father was the billionaire, and he gave Trump, his son, the money.
He's Trump with less fascist inclinations. And I don't know which is worse. I mean, I wouldn't want to see the results of President Elon Musk. Oh my God!
Why would you say that? Now he's going to do it.
I turned it into existence, didn't I? Oh,
yes, you did. Why would you?
God.
No, why?
I hate you. Get out of here.
You know what? The bar is so low at this point. I'm surprised they don't elect a fucking toaster.
Shh! You gave Elon Musk ideas.
No, he could just buy the White House.
Oh God! Don't say that. Now
the laws of finders keepers. That means I'm the president. So yeah.
You just gave him ideas. Way to go!
God, and all of this is because he's so thin-skinned. You know what? And you won't stop because he can't handle getting laughed at. Look, if I had his money, I wouldn't care what people say about me.
I also wouldn't
fun of me all day long. I'm richer than you.
I also wouldn't go and buy Twitter just for the sake of it.
Oh, you're making fun of me? Oh, okay, that's great. I'm actually gonna go recline on my private jet to my island in the Galapagos where I'm going to have monkeys as my butlers.
No, you know what? I'm gonna do what you usually say. I'm gonna go lay on my piles of money.
No, I'm going to read about those tweets sitting on my golden toilet.
Oh God!
In my nice house before I go and take a swim in my swimming pool that is filled with pudding. Do you understand here? Why should you care when you're rich enough? Look, there's a reason why the fuck you money is a phrase. You have enough money, fuck you.
What I don't understand is why is Twitter not jumping on this?
Apparently, what do you mean jumping on this?
It's a lot of money. They should take the money.
So you're thinking they should have listened to it?
I'm saying, forget the morality. Remember, in business, there's no morality, especially when you're talking about that much money. $43 billion is $43 billion. I'm not saying Elon Musk is the right person to run the company. I'm saying that Twitter should be saying, oh my God, $43 billion.
Which I would imagine that's significantly less than they thought it was worth, because they actually, believe it or not, Twitter is actually worth less than Activision Blizzard. So
wait a minute.
Congratulations.
According to Bloomberg, Twitter's Musk's wealth hovers around $260 billion. By the way, I just saw that in the story.
I don't think it necessarily is that they think that. I don't necessarily think that they don't like the fact that he might buy it. They just think they can get more than what he's offering.
Wait a minute. Now, according to CNBC, the valuation for Twitter is $37 billion. And Elon offered $43 billion.
So, again, but obviously their internal calculations must be off.
But Nick,
or they're concerned about the PR hit they would take.
Yeah, but Nick, $6 billion more than the valuation?
I understand my reasons why I wouldn't want to sell to him. You're just saying you don't understand their reasons for not
Right.
selling to him. Is that what you're saying?
I wouldn't want Elon Musk to own it, but from a business standpoint, when someone offers you $6 billion more than the valuation of the company, you need to put your pride aside for a second and think about it. Business is business. Unfortunately, and I agree with you on most standpoints with this, but if someone came to you or someone came to us, let's use our podcast network as an example. Say Spotify came to us and said, we're going to give you, and it won't happen for a long time. If someone said, I'll give you $1 billion, you bring our podcast network over to Spotify on an exclusive deal. And say you don't like the Spotify CEO. What's the answer?
Yeah, I'm taking that gig.
My point is sometimes it's not the people who run the business. It's what you get out of working with partnerships and business to grow your own brand of business.
Even though doing a sponsorship with Spotify really wouldn't put that much money in our pockets other than what they would pay us to be exclusive, because you don't really get,
No. I said if they offered I'm saying if they offered $1 billion deal to Spotify, and that means we'd be exclusive to Spotify. And say you don't like the Twitter.
There would have to be some major caveats, because I do have reservations, but I'm not inflexible. Is that what I'm?
Right. My point is
that's what I mean.
My point is you're not saying no right away. I'll tell you that.
No, I'm not saying no right away.
Because that $1 billion,
what Elon Musk is doing.
No. Those are two different things. Obviously,
different things. Yeah.
You're talking about. Actually, you're literally talking apples and oranges in aspects. But my point is, if someone came to us tomorrow and said, "Here's $1 billion," you would have to literally sit down and go,
say no right away. I would not say no right away.
You would have to review the checks and balances of everything before you say no to $1 billion.
I mean, call us unscrupulous if you'd like, but we don't get paid in scruples here.
Right. So my point is, Twitter should be doing a checks and balances sheet that says, okay, business is business. I guarantee.
You mean a pros and cons list?
Well, that's what they call checks and balances, or pros and cons. But basically, they need to look at themselves and say, $43 billion. Is that way more of a profit than we got out of this the whole time? Think about it from a business standpoint. I guarantee you that $43 billion is way more than they've ever heard so far.
I mean, I think that maybe Agrawal thinks that he can get more. He would get more keeping it, that we would still be able to keep the money fountain going if Twitter stayed public.
Oh, wait a minute. You think about the tech space and the social media space. There's always something new coming out. Always. Think about it. TikTok came out. That kind of took over.
Is not owned by an American company, though.
My point is that the next big brand will outdo you, and you're better off selling when someone offers you that type of money, because what happens if something else comes by and Elon Musk went and put the money into that?
So by that line of logic, shouldn't Elon Musk be trying to buy TikTok instead?
Well, Elon,
because I don't think it's about the money with him. I'm pretty sure it's not.
No. I'm not talking about Elon Musk's money. I'm talking about that Twitter is going to lose a massive amount of money if they are just going to base it on his points of view, because that's not what business is always based on.
I mean, it's not. I mean, he wants to turn it into his personal shitpost and playground. And
by the way, it's for 100%. So as soon as they sell, they're out.
Yeah, you're literally unemploying yourself.
So
you really want to do that?
No. I'm saying you're out, meaning you have the money. You
Yeah.
do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah, you do whatever the hell you want.
So it shouldn't matter what they think. It's either do you want the money, you sign on the dotted line, or you don't want the money.
Again, but can you get does everybody on that board see eye to eye?
Well, that's the problem.
And I'm willing to bet that that's not the case.
Oh, the guy you just told me, who I keep forgetting his name, the Amrahal or whatever you called.
What, the CEO?
He runs the board, I think. Yeah, the board of directors.
Yeah.
So he was saying, I don't have the direct quotes in front of me, but he was being wishy-washy, so to speak, about Elon, which I get. I totally understand. Elon, you can't read him. He walks around with like a giant question mark in his head, like you see in the video games. Like you don't know what he's thinking.
Yeah, you remember that SpongeBob joke with the inner machinations of my mind are
the spilled milk. Patrick. Yeah, that is Elon Musk. It's spilled milk.
Yeah, that is pretty much it.
But instead of spilled milk, it's Tesla electrical lines hitting his head.
Yeah, it's just a Tesla battery, but it's disconnected. The lights are on, nobody's home.
Oh, why isn't it working?
Speaking of, moving on.
All right, so from weird story to unfortunate story here in our home base. A suspect, right? The suspect has been arrested in the New York City subway shooting that wounded 10 and injured 13. So I've been following this story over the last week, and
it hasn't even been a week.
No, it feels like a week.
It feels like a week.
Over this past week.
Over the course of this week.
Yeah, and I can thank my lucky stars that I don't work in the city right now.
Even though this wasn't really this wasn't even a heavily populated area.
It was in Brooklyn.
It was in Brooklyn. So.
But still, you have to remember the whole subway line is connected in New York.
I do have a couple of questions. Well, first of all, let me lead with this. Thank God nobody was killed.
Right.
Thank God nobody was killed. I mean, I wish a speedy recovery to everybody that was hurt in this. And
there was an attack afterwards.
There was. And again, speedy recovery to everybody, every person who was hurt by this. And thank God they caught him. But what I'd like to know is, again, the New York City Police Department has an $11 billion budget, and they couldn't stop this from... There are cops literally to every 10 feet in New York City.
Well, ever since Mayor Eric Adams took over New York City, he's been doing this, police program where there's cops swarming like every block, it seems like now.
And you're telling me today was the day they decided to be asleep at the switch?
Well, it doesn't help that Eric Adams has COVID and is now in isolation. But
it was kind of surreal to see him give all his rah-rah speeches and no one's around him. But again, that's what you get for going to the gridiron dinner and not wearing a mask.
Well,
that's what you get for losing the restrictions.
Speaking of tri-state, Governor Murphy in New Jersey got it also.
Again, this is what I must say to you people. Stop proving me right.
And the numbers are going up again slowly.
Exactly. So stop proving me right.
But I want to say one thing. So there's another part of this story that a lot of people are not paying attention to. In the subway station where this took place, the cameras were disabled.
So how the hell does that happen?
It makes no sense, because if there were cameras if the cameras were working, someone would have caught it.
Someone would have caught it, and they would have gotten them a lot. Well, we'll get to that, but still,
the weird thing is, so he had guns, quite a few guns, and there, I think they said 33 rounds were fired at one point.
Yeah, they were extended. They were extended mags. So
and he had explosive devices.
Which he dropped the weapon, he dropped his keys, and
smoke canisters is what they're calling it.
Yeah, because it was a smoke grenade.
Really?
So the suspect in question has already been identified, and apparently the man is A little crazy.
Not mentally with it?
Not not. He apparently had issues with mental health and for most of his life, and also had an arrest record.
How does this
What I'd like to know is how was he able
happening?
to buy a gun 10 years
Oh,
ago?
wait. I'll let you finish that. But when we talk about these stories constantly, whether it's here in New York or any other place in this great country, when we hear about these attacks, have you noticed that whenever these attacks happen, it's with someone who has had a mental disability of some sort for a really long time, but they're still being allowed to purchase a gun?
Well, exactly. That's the thing, because they don't give people who have mental illness help in this country.
And by the way,
we can't give you medicine, but we can give you a firearm.
And by the way, I don't want to hear fucked up bullshit when people watch this and they say, well, you can't say that I'm not allowed to have a gun. Bullshit! If you have a mental issue, you should not be allowed to purchase a gun.
If you have an arrest record and a history of mental illness, that's like, you know what? I think the Cobra can feed himself, so I'm gonna unlock the cage today.
But wait a minute. This is not. I don't want to hear Second Amendment because that's going to piss me off here. This is not Second Amendment. So anyone who brings up Second Amendment is an idiot.
But again, you get them crawling out the woodwork every time something like this happens. But
no, because they're going to say, "Oh, well, if he wasn't allowed to have a gun, it's Second Amendment. It's my right." No, it's not. No, it's not.
At this point, ladies and gentlemen, we are at a... I don't want to say we're at an inflection point, but I really feel like, look, this is... we know that nothing was going to... after nothing happened after Sandy Hook. And that was the absolutely horrific. So if nothing happened then, what makes you think that something's going to happen now? I hate to be cynical about it.
Well, wait a minute. There's something ironic about this attack also. It felt like a movie because the subway surveillance cameras were off when he did the attack. It almost sounded like that was planned.
It did. It did sound like it was planned. So, and also shout out to the guy who tipped off the cops that he was there. So...
Oh, I didn't even hear that.
Yeah, Twitter has been going nuts about the 21-year-old Syrian bodega owner or work.
I think it was an owner, I think. But long story short, first of all, how did he manage to get on a subway with all these guns, these two smoke grenades, and nobody saw it? Nobody? Are you shitting me? I
really have no idea.
And first of all, since COVID, cops have been riding the subways. You're telling me that a fucking cop didn't see it?
Yeah. Which is, again, you're supposed to have cops every 10 feet. So if you don't have cops if you didn't have it then, you're definitely going to have it now. You're going to have cops every 6 inches.
You're going to have cops following you into bathrooms at this point. I mean, like... And I don't mean that. I'm not trying to joke, but I'm just saying that's what it's going to feel.
$11 billion and a bodega and a guy who owns a guy who works at a bodega, Zach Tahan. He's the guy who found him. It wasn't because of all your might, everything you have, all the tools of the trade, and all the tricks you use, all that money spent. And you still couldn't get him. Because it took you how long before catching this guy?
It took almost a week.
One guy.
It almost took a week.
One guy. I'm just saying. How is it that their budget is $11 billion, yet they couldn't get one guy who works in a bodega had to be the one to get it?
Because I feel like our New York City police department is flawed.
Oh, that's believe me, that's just the tip of the iceberg. But I'm not going to get into that.
But wait, so even though this guy, what is his name, Frank James, was the suspect?
Yeah, I think that was the name of the.
So
yes, Frank James.
Oh yeah, Frank R. James, 62 years old. First of all. 62 years old, walking around with all these gun rounds and 2 grenades.
And a steady diet of basically he's been mainlining conspiracy theories for a while now. Posted it on his YouTube page, which
And-
of course,
And
'cause
on
they
social
were
media.
manifesto.
They went on his social media and found basically alleged threats of Eric Adams.
Which no one flagged.
What's
Because-
weird also, so he has an address in Milwaukee, in Wisconsin. Then he also has an address in Philadelphia. He went to Philadelphia, rented a U-Haul, drove to New York. So for someone with mental illness, he had an elaborate plan.
Oh, believe me, mental illness does not prevent you from coming up with elaborate plans. But if anything, I mean, it really shows you just how long this was in the works, and nobody stopped him.
And by the way, dumb criminal alert. He left the keys in the bag.
So, yeah, they were banking on that. They were banking on that mistake. But again, just to reiterate, I'm glad nobody died. I'm glad they're going to recover, and I'm just.
I love how. Wait a minute.
If it's not one thing, it's another.
I love how they said the FBI and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives have joined the investigation. Gee, you think?
Yeah, I would say he has either one or both of those one or two of those 3 things on the scene itself.
By the way, these pictures that I'm seeing of the subway station after the attack happened are harrowing.
They really are.
Like it's scary. Like just.
But again, we as a society love guns, and we love wasting money on pointless military power. And
Wow!
The end result: people get shot, and you're lucky nobody died.
I just found the picture of the bag that he left. It has fireworks, and it has a powder, and it's got wirings for explosive devices.
Yeah, something tells me he wasn't trying to build a better alarm clock.
I was just like, are you shitting me? It's unreal. Like,
but
I mean,
no, but no. Let's not try to get anybody any help here. But, ladies and gentlemen, it's just
look at this picture, Nick. Look at this picture.
I'm sorry, but how does that not?
Is this crazy? This bag of fireworks here?
Again, this doesn't happen without several people, several important layers getting screwed up here. Several important entities royally dropping the ball here. Thank God for bodega workers.
Right. I feel sad because again, we live in New York, and
yeah,
I worked in New York for almost 4 years. For crying out loud.
You never felt safe on the subway, though.
No, I got pushed off the subway once. All because this was right at the height of COVID. Everyone was wearing masks. The cops were going up and down the subway train, and everyone was looking at this one guy who refused to wear a mask. I should have known when I got up that he was behind me when I went to get off the subway car, and he pushed me as I stepped over the gap.
Was he pushing to run away?
No. He pushed me, like 2-hand pushed me over the gap.
But you weren't the one yelling at him.
No. But everyone was looking at him. He was the one guy not wearing a mask, sitting on the train. Didn't say a damn fucking word to the guy.
Oh, God.
Thank God this wasn't a train gap, because train gaps are bigger than subway gaps.
Yep.
And he ran away because he's a coward.
That's New York City for you.
But
ladies and gentlemen, moving on.
Yeah. So from that news to even sadder news, comedian Gilbert Gottfried has passed away at the age of 67 for type 2 myotonic dystrophy, which is muscular dystrophy. A lot of people, I know some people who actually have muscular dystrophy.
So muscular dystrophy, enlighten me. Muscular dystrophy is not like ALS, and that it's not.
It's muscle deformation.
But is it? But
Essentially.
is it fatal?
Well, yeah. But eventually, it's one of those that eventually it just gets worse over time.
It eventually will.
It gets worse over time. You have no control over it, so to speak. And I guess it finally bit him, unfortunately.
Well, apparently he's been dealing with this for a while, and again, his family termed it a long illness, which again immediately caused me to think of, okay, he had cancer or something.
That's what I thought. They were being mysterious about it.
They were being mysterious about it, and I think his lawyer was not his lawyer,
His friend.
his agent.
His agent is his friend.
His agent, yeah, his agent and his friend was the one who actually disclosed what it was that he had. Now, this is just like I said before in the opening, this is just an incalculable loss to comedy, because no matter whether you liked him or you hated him, you knew who he was and you knew that voice.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
Gilbert Gottfried, to me, I think he was one of the last personality comics.
Agreed.
Where like it's not necessarily that he had a shtick, but he had an image.
Yes.
And he cultivated that so brilliantly, and it's not who he was. I mean, he on stage, he was the filthiest person. He was one of the filthiest comedians you ever want to.
Him and Saget.
Him and Saget were completely filthy, and it's just the thing is what makes it such a tragedy is because he was again a devoted family man, and that's what makes it even more of a tragedy at this point. But in honor, I remember actually one of my I remember watching a stand-up special he did a couple of years back where he just basically just told dirty jokes the entire time.
My favorite moment of all time is "You fool."
Yeah, when he was on Hollywood Squares.
That went on for like what, 10 minutes or something?
Yeah, I remember. Can I tell the joke that
yeah.
He told? So there's these two children that go rushing down the stairs for breakfast. And there's an older kid and his younger brother. So the mother says to the older kid, "What do you want for breakfast?" And the older kid says, "I want some fucking cereal." "What did you just say, young man?" And he says it louder. "I would like some fucking cereal." And the mother has had it. She screams her head off. And then the father just bends him over his knee and spanks the hell out of him. And and the older brother rushes up the stairs, crying his eyes out. And when they're all alone, the mother says to the younger child, "And what do you want for breakfast, young man?" And the younger brother says, "I don't know, but it ain't going to be the fucking cereal." Granted, I screwed that up, but that was always one of my favorite ones.
That is pretty funny though. But my favorite was definitely the Hollywood Squares.
Yeah,
because he's he's a lot smarter than people give him credit for.
Oh, yeah. A lot of these dirty comedians were.
And by the way,
a lot of the bluer comedians were a lot smarter than people gave him credit for, because it's not enough to just curse.
Right.
It's not enough to just curse and tell shit jokes and dick jokes and and jokes like that. You have to be smart about it, but the way you deploy it.
At least he wasn't like
otherwise. I mean, 14. I mean, when you're a certain age, just saying those words are funny. But if you're going to be able to do this, as long as Gilbert Gottfried did, you need to be smart in how you need to be able to tell jokes, not just saying funny words.
At least you're not Howie Mandel breathing into a what's it called, the hand thing,
the glove.
Because I always thought that was stupid. And by the way, I've had the chance to interview Howie Mandel before.
Howie Mandel is funny though.
He's funny. I just don't like the glove bit. It's stupid.
That's why he stopped doing it at a certain point.
I like Deal or No Deal, one of my favorite shows of all time.
And I'm sure you made sure to tell him that.
I did. Of course I did. I can't find that interview now.
He's probably a nice guy.
He is.
Would
He is a nice guy.
I be correct in assuming he's a nice guy?
I saw him at NYCB Theater.
Yeah, and again, I mean, with a lot of these comedians, it really feels like we're losing them at a faster clip than we should be. Because
Think about it this year: Gottfried, Saget, and oh my God,
Louis Anderson.
And Louis Anderson. I met Louis Anderson too. I posted pictures of it on social media. I met him when we were down in Vegas. We got to do a meet and greet with my family before he put a show on.
Yeah, and it really started. I mean, think about the outpouring when Robin Williams committed suicide.
I was at National Community College doing radio when that happened.
That broke me when that happened, because the man's stand-up was and the man's comedy was such a formative influence on me. It was just, it was like, telling me that Santa Claus was real and he's dead.
But you know what? The other thing I didn't like about that whole situation with Robin Williams is he didn't speak up.
Well, he couldn't really speak up.
Well, he could have. He didn't want help.
It's not that he refused help. He didn't know what was going on with him. His brain was slowly betraying him. That's the insidious part of Lewy body dementia. And I'm pretty sure looking up the symptoms of myotonic dystrophy.
I just looked up.
It can be, if you don't know what you're looking for, you may not know that anybody even has it. Well, and it may actually cause, problems with the rhythm of the heart. So that's maybe what had killed him.
Well, according to the story, it says it isn't clear when Gottfried was diagnosed with the disease, which has no cure. It has no cure and it has no treatment. Typically, it appears when people are in their 20s or 30s. And so he died at 67. That means he could have had it for 30 to 40 years.
Yeah. So, which again.
Oh, wait. Here's the symptoms. Breathing or heart muscle weakness tend to develop more as people age. More patients may not be diagnosed until their 40s, 50s, or 60s, or they may confuse their symptoms with other age-related health problems. I mean, damn.
It really is. It's just horrible.
And by the way, any Aladdin fans out there as well. I mean,
yeah, if you loved Aladdin, my God, is this a bad week.
And by the way, fuck Affleck for taking him off for some of the shit that he said. Get over it.
I mean, notice how people don't talk about that now, but again,
he made those commercials hilarious though.
You let those things go.
No, but they removed him because of typical comedian shtick, something that they didn't like.
I can't remember what it was that got him kicked off.
He made a bad, somewhat joke that was not politically correct, and then Affleck took him off. Like everything else.
Yeah, I'm not really going to take this space to argue about cancel culture. Not again.
No. I'm not talking about cancel culture. I'm just saying it was stupid. Like, the man was brilliant in those commercials every time. His voicing the Affleck duck, he was brilliant.
Yeah, it was. But you know what? He'll always be, to me, one of the most instantly recognizable comedians, that I've ever seen. Him and Saget.
I'm really annoyed also because I actually had the chance at National Community College where I did radio. I interviewed Gilbert Gottfried. And I can't find the interview, and it's really annoying me. I did an interview with him.
He was a nice guy, wasn't he?
Yes, absolutely. People think that just because of what he does on stage,
that he's some kind of abrasive dickhead, but no,
he's really not. Like, he took time out of the day to do an interview with me on a dinky college radio station, for crying out loud. Like, he didn't have to.
Again, respect, our condolences to Gilbert Gottfried's family. He's a legend, and he will be missed.
Anyone who says that they don't think Gilbert Gottfried is a legend, bang to the head.
Yeah.
And I don't mean a gun. I mean a punch to the head.
Exactly. You make threats like an Italian deli. I'm going to put you right in the face.
But, all right. So from unfortunate to now, very weird. So
Britney Spears is pregnant again. Let's just get that out of the way. And I'm excited. Okay, good for her. But
I guess
the thing is, she's kind of confusing people with all the Instagram with what she was doing in Instagram. Now, looking at this, it's like trying to decode a codex.
So I don't know why I can't get it any bigger, but the tweet reads, "I lost so much weight to go on my Maui trip, only to gain it back. I thought, geez, what happened to my stomach? My husband said, no, you're food pregnant. So I got a pregnancy test, and well, I'm having a baby. 4 days later, I got a little more food pregnant. It's growing. If 2 are in there, I might just lose it. I obviously won't be going out as much due to the paps. Oh, God. Getting their money shot of me. Like they unfortunately already have. It's hard because when I was pregnant, I had parental depression. I have to say it is absolutely horrible. Women didn't talk about it back then. Some people considered it dangerous if a woman complained like that with a baby inside her. But now women talk about it every day. Thank Jesus we don't have to keep that pain a reserved proper secret. This time I will be doing yoga every day, spending lots of joy and love."
So why does she post like? Why does she? I know she's not a 40-year-old yoga mom. So why do you post? Why do you post like one?
This is crazy. I can't believe she got pregnant again.
I mean, you know what? Good for her. With all the shit she's been through.
Is she in the right state of mind to be taking care of a baby, though?
I mean, apparently. Otherwise, they wouldn't have taken off the conservatorship. So,
But Nick, and I'm all for her being off the conservatorship. Let me make that very clear. First of all, she was basically trapped for a long time. So, but I don't know if she's in the right frame of mind right this moment.
I mean, even if she is or she isn't, I mean, it's not really for us to judge.
No, I'm just saying it's bizarre timing is my point.
It's bizarre timing, but you know what? What can you do?
I mean, I don't know. Like I think of some people who they shouldn't become pregnant. Demi Lovato is one of them. Amanda Bynes is another one. Because we've talked about their mental illnesses before.
I mean, again, mental illness doesn't mean that you're irretrievably broken. It's just, it just means you need a little bit more help. That's all.
I want to know if they were trying to do this or if this happened by accident.
I don't know. I mean, she talked about wanting to have a kid with this guy.
She already has, 2 or 3 kids?
Yeah, 2 kids.
I don't know.
So at this point, ladies and gentlemen, all you can do is just say congratulations, I guess.
People thought she was kidding.
Yeah, they did think she was kidding, but you know what? That's what vague Instagram posts do to you. It's like, wait, are you doing a bit or are you actually announcing something?
I don't know what date this Instagram post was posted. Oh, it was 2 days ago, maybe? Oh, it doesn't say. Oh, 3 days ago. 3 days ago.
Oh, yeah, 3 days ago. As of this recording.
As of this recording. But I would have said to myself, is this like a late April Fool's Day joke that I wasn't getting? Like,
because I haven't checked my calendar, but I'm pretty sure it's not April 1st.
I'm like, wait a minute. We're way past April 1st. This can't be a joke. Ah! I was having a flashback. I was having a flashback, like you said, to the 90s all over again.
Yeah. It's TRL. Just grab a can of Surge soda out of the fridge. Just make sure you grab a thing of handy snacks and let's get ready to roll.
I'm gonna go watch Slime Time Live. Oh God.
Oh, God.
Or You Pick Live.
My bones are practically dust.
I mean,
what are you doing to me?
But speaking of weird stories, are you ready for another food concoction, Nick?
Lay it on me.
Pepsi,
not literally.
Pepsi and IHOP made maple syrup cola.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the ubiquity of the internet has led to many things, good and bad. However, this has to be some kind of shitpost. This has to be something that could only have originated from the recesses of the molten depths of Reddit. Or, hey, maple syrup and cola.
But unfortunately, Nick, this is a real thing.
Pepsi is already too sweet, or it's already pretty sweet.
It already has a shitload of sugar in it.
Why do you need more maple syrup?
But I have to show you. Do you want to see the picture of the can?
Yes, I do.
All right, let
Is it
me.
shaped like a pancake?
No, but I have to give them credit on this front that they did a good job on the branding standpoint of it. But this is what it looks like.
I mean,
I got to give them credit.
I get that, but
look at some of these though. This is the package that the cans come in.
of course, because you can only get them special ordered from the Pepsi website.
Well, it's limited. It's a limited run. And then they also give you the pour spout that you get for syrup,
which you don't even need, because it's not like you're gonna. Hey, I'm gonna pour Pepsi all over my pancakes.
Look at this though. Someone actually put it with chips in a thing.
Oh Jesus! You know what? You maple syrup Pepsi to make Pepsi maple syrup. You know what? Turnabout is fair play. That's the Uno reverse card in action.
But I'm just reading through here, and apparently IHOP and Pepsi were talking about doing this for a while.
They were, and I remember hearing about that. But
wait, so it says this is a very limited edition flavor. Is available only through the hashtag Show Us Your Stack. Oh God, that's inappropriate. Social media sweepstakes.
Oh God, ladies and gentlemen. I'm about to make a grand pronouncement on this show. Certain things should not be cola flavors. Chocolate is one of them.
What's wrong with chocolate? There's chocolate soda out there.
I'm sorry, but how does that make sense?
It's all sugar. What did you expect?
Chocolate is one of them. Ranch is another one.
That's disgusting.
And also prunes.
Ew. Well, there's prune juice, though.
I know there's prune juice. I've also seen buffalo wings soda.
Ew.
Exactly. Some things should not be soda.
What's next? They can make pizza soda?
Oh, it wouldn't. They make pizza ice cream now.
Ew. Ugh. Well, wait. You see that they turn stuff into cereals now that are not supposed to be cereals. You see that?
Yeah, like the
like they're turning ice cream into cereals. They're turning.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, what the fuck? Like I want my.
I can see you kind of getting away with that because
But I want my classic cereals. I want my Cocoa Puffs, or I used to eat Kicks back in the day until they destroyed it, or Alphabets, and they took all the sugar away from Alphabets. The only
person I have ever heard of that actually eats Kicks cereal.
Well, I don't do it anymore because they destroyed it.
What do you mean they destroyed it?
Like they just changed the whole formulation and everything of it.
Oh.
I like the old way where parents didn't get in the way. This is too much sugar.
It's breakfast cereal. What the hell do you want?
You know what? And now I'm going to go up.
Besides, you're going to tell me that, you're going to tell me that cornflakes aren't laden with sugar?
Actually, the one that everyone's getting angry about, Frosted Flakes.
Hence the name Frosted.
Duh.
If they wouldn't be, if they weren't frosted, they'd just be cornflakes.
Do you remember the cookies cereal also, the commercial? Cookie Crisps?
They still have Cookie Crisp.
Or
I've never actually had Cookie Crisp.
I never had it either, but I used to see the commercials for it all the time. Lucky Charms. Which one was the rabbit?
Tricks.
Oh, Trick. Silly rabbit, tricks are for kids. That probably led to so many inappropriate.
Even though Tricks, I really didn't.
No, but I'm saying
I really didn't like that much.
How many inappropriate jokes do you think that led to? That one line alone.
Well, I was on a playground in my elementary school years. I know what they were.
Silly rabbit, tricks are for kids. But long story short, they have 2,000 cans. That's how many they made.
But not to be outdone, Coca-Cola is soon going to announce the Captain Crunch Coca-Cola.
No! Wait, what?
Cola. It's not even flavored like Captain Crunch.
Wait, is that real or are you being facetious?
No, I'm being facetious.
Oh, okay. God.
Would you really put it past any of them though?
Not really, because I feel like Pepsi's and Coca-Cola are in that phase where they just want to try dumb things to make attention for themselves.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've had it.
But I guess, you know what, though? I just thought about it. Pancakes, syrup, and soda, like, you could really make great social media content out of that, if you think about it.
But again, but you'd have to drink the maple syrup cola. So
I mean, if I could get my hands on it, I would definitely try it. I would never have it again, though, afterwards, because I'm afraid I'm going to turn into a pancake if I drink it. But
uh,
but apparently someone did a review on it, and they said that it's a ton of calories. Duh. And
probably 100. It's probably 150% of your daily sugar intake.
by the way, people with diabetes, don't drink it.
It'll kill you.
Because it's essentially now all sugar. If it wasn't all sugar before, it's all sugar now.
I know.
You should just take 10 large spoons of sugar and just do that instead of drinking the soda.
Literally, just get a pallet of Pixie Sticks and just rip the tops off all of them and just chug it like you're Stone Cold Steve Austin.
You know what I thought though when I was that's funny. But when I was looking at the brand and the color, it looks like cream soda.
It does.
I don't drink cream soda. I've never had cream soda.
It depends on the cream soda.
I forgot the name of the old brand. Dr. Brown's, I think, is one of them.
Yeah, which coincidentally, I've only ever seen here in New York.
It's at those Jewish delis. They have Dr. Brown's.
Yep.
My father and my grandfather like it. I've never had it. I don't like the taste of cream soda.
It's okay. It's okay.
I couldn't. I don't know. I think I like regular sodas essentially, but I thought you would enjoy this story because you didn't originally have this, and I thought you'd get a funny reaction out of it.
I definitely got a reaction out of it.
I love finding the weird food stories for this show for some reason.
Yeah.
But all right, so here we go. Last story here. This is a combination because it has to do with both. You ready to be pissed off, Nick?
Yeah, why not?
Yankees analyst Paul O'Neill, unvaccinated, calling games remotely. John Smoltz no longer with MLB Network after refusing to be vaccinated. Now, what I found interesting...
John Smoltz. It's not John Smoltz.
Ah, damn it.
Wouldn't be an Empty the Bench podcast network podcast without some kind of typo.
John Smoltz no longer with MLB Network after refusing to be vaccinated. Now, when I found an article the other day. I was watching a video. I see that Michael Kay and David Cohn are at Yankee Stadium, and Paul O'Neill is in Ohio calling the game.
I noticed that too, and I was like, "Wait, what's going on?" Because I understand, in the beginning of the pandemic, you really didn't want people to travel, and what are you gonna do?
I was confused
again. So it occurred to me, wait a minute, is he vaccinated? And just as if on command, I read the story on the New York Post. I think Joel Sherman got that one. Or was it Ken David? Was it Ken Davidoff?
I think it was Davidoff. I think it was Davidoff.
Davidoff got that one where it was. They revealed that Paul O'Neill is still in Ohio and calling games from his basement because he is unvaccinated. Now, normally, again, if you have the luxury of working from home, go ahead, work from home. What do I care? As long as you're not exposing people. However,
I hate to say one thing to burst your bubble though on the rules for MLB. I don't know if you know that the rules are different for MLB as opposed to what certain teams are allowed to do with unvaccinated and vaccinated. So according to MLB, he could have been in the stadium.
Yeah, he could have been in the stadium.
But the Yankees and the Yes Network have a rule that everyone had to be vaccinated by January 1st.
Yeah, they did.
So basically, Paul O'Neill knew what he was doing way before it got to this point.
Exactly. So, ladies and gentlemen, where the rub comes in is he's going to have his jersey retired. So what the hell is he going to do? What, are you going to not show up?
You know how embarrassing that's going to look?
Oh, God. Well, the Yankees are no stranger to embarrassment, seeing as how they started off their season not signing.
That's for Empty the Bench on Saturday.
An extension, but I'm getting past that right now. As far as John Smoltz goes, he is no longer an analyst for MLB Network after refusing to get vaccinated.
Now,
they offered, he said no.
I just want to clarify. He did not get fired. We're being very careful with those words. Okay. He
did not get fired. He was let go.
Not even let go. Not even let go. His contract was up.
His contract was up and they did not renew it.
But apparently, MLB Network is so desperate to have him back that they're continuing to talk to him.
So, ladies and gentlemen, there are consequences to not being vaccinated unless you are famous. So, therefore, you will be able to do your job without a hitch and get off scot-free.
I got to ask you, though, Nick, from a journalist standpoint, because I see this everywhere, and it's really annoying me in a lot of these stories talking about people who are not vaccinated, and then they talk about, well, the rules are going to change eventually, so maybe the such and such person won't have to worry about it soon.
Which would be the case if COVID cases were declining, but they're not.
But I'm just saying, I get frustrated with all the media outlets that say, well, maybe they're not going to have to worry about it soon, so they should just hold on, I guess, until...
Ladies and gentlemen, I can't be any more crystal clear than I have been being. If you're not vaccinated, please get vaccinated. I thought Paul O'Neill and John Smoltz were smarter than this, but apparently...
Well, we knew about John Smoltz for a while.
Yeah, we did. I thought it wasn't going to be this, but apparently it is.
And the thing is, John Smoltz is getting away with it because Fox doesn't care. Fox is where he's the number one broadcast team now with Joe Davis.
With Joe Buck.
Now Joe Davis, who took over. So they told him he doesn't have to be vaccinated. So again, whose fault is this?
It's their fault.
Right. So if he doesn't have to be vaccinated, then he's just going to say, screw this. I make enough money calling the games.
Exactly.
So I don't know. This is bizarre. I don't know what to say. Paul O'Neill's being a jerk. That's the best way. And I like Paul O'Neill. I'm a Yankee fan.
I am too. It's just I can't stand it.
So you're going to affect your own retirement ceremony because you're not going to get vaccinated? You know what the Yankees...
It's the clarion call of the selfish.
No, you know what the Yankees should do? They should say, hey, Paul, guess what? You're not vaccinated? Your ceremony is off until you get vaccinated.
You know what? They're going to have to figure out what to do because I'm all out of yelling to do. I can't do it.
No, but I'm saying, wouldn't you rather him be there or cancel the event with him not being there?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I would, but there's a part of me that doesn't want that to happen.
And I'm not saying if they cancel it, they shouldn't have it. They should wait until he can come to the stadium.
I know.
I don't know. I'm tired of screaming about vaccinations like you are.
Speaking of tired, I think that's going to do it for us here on Empty the Bench.
Well, so make sure you go follow us on social media, on Twitter, at Beyond the Bench 1, on Facebook, same thing, Beyond the Bench 1, and on Instagram as well. We're now on there, Instagram.com/Beyond the Bench 1, and on the Empty the Bench Podcast Network at ETB Network on all platforms. So a lot coming up. Quickly, I'll just say, because we haven't had a chance to talk about new shows since it's been a long time since we've talked about new shows. So the Big Bad Broadcast, which I think is a really good name for a show.
Yes,
that's our new comedy show that is going to be coming to our podcast network. And it's a group of 5 who I met through Jerry Barmesh, who does Here Now the News for us. They get 10 to 20,000 views a week. And
so we're glad to have them aboard.
And so they've had many great guests. And who's the guy you told me? Burt Reynolds was the guy you told me? The guy who played Robin?
Burt Ward.
Burt Ward, excuse me. Burt Ward. They had him as a guest way back when. They've had... they're in the mix of doing an interview. I'm teasing a little bit beforehand because this is going to be the first episode next Friday. They have Clint Howard.
Yes, brother Ron Howard. If you know movies, you know him. So
make sure you tune in.
Yeah, make sure you tune in and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and make sure you click the bell to get notifications because you don't want to miss out on any of this stuff.
Yeah, don't miss out. There's so many shows. Empty the Bench, Beyond the Bench, Here Now the News, The Hearst Show, Inside the Numbers, Keeping It Real, Game On. I'm sure I'm missing something, but a lot of shows. So many, Living Life. So many shows. And we're growing an empire. And by the way, I forgot to mention them at the beginning of the show. If I can reach down here. Thanks to our presenting sponsor, Knack, as well.
They're making all of this possible, and make sure that you go to knackbags.com and enter offer code BEYOND to get a free TSA-approved lock. $15 value, entirely free. That's right, gratis.
It's free. And how often do we offer free on this show?
Well, we offer free opinions, but now we're actually offering something people want to buy.
We're offering a free gift to you.
So why aren't you taking it?
So go buy a Knack bag, and like Nick said, use the I almost said discount code. Free code. Beyond, BEYOND at checkout, and get your free TSA approved lock. We promise. It's a great product. And on top of it, I think we should put out a video of you smashing cookies in the Knack bag. That would be hilarious.
Oh, I've got a couple of devious things planned, so keep it tuned.
So I think
keep it here.
As Nick said, that'll just about do it. This has been episode 25, not 29 of Beyond the Bench.
No, next week is episode 29, but he's Nick Morgasen. I'm Nick Fodera. So I'll say to you, good night, everybody. See you back on the bench.
We'll see you next week, everybody. Good night.